way. 1 minute. Okay. Dude, we're live.
All right.
So let me minimize this window. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I want to see the chat this time. I didn't see chat last time. It's like people are chatting.
Huh.
So I want to minimize this so I can see the chat. Okay. Give people a minute or two to come in. All right, we're live, man. We're live.
Nice.
So we're live today. Welcome to Bizzarro's Lair. This is our chill session number 3. And this is my buddy Ian Sims. He hails from Pennsylvania, and he's not an official member of the VC, but he collects vinyl and he loves music, and the kid knows his shit. So I figured we could sit back and talk a little bit of vinyl today with somebody out of the community, as it were. So how's everything going over there? You guys keeping clean?
Define clean.
Like stinky germs that can make you die?
Oh, yeah, for the most part. Neither of us got sick, so looks like we're doing okay so far.
Okay. Hey.
He's still an essential worker. I've been working from home for 8 weeks, but we're just hanging in there.
Good. Glad to hear it. So since you're the guest, I figured what we'll do, our format will be, you can show one, I'll show one. We'll try to get some kind of reciprocal conversation going about it and
Yeah, man.
see if we can't entertain some people and maybe get a little learning going. So since
Sounds
you're the
good.
guest again, since you're the guest, why don't you go ahead and show your first vinyl?
All right. I picked these after a number of drinks last night, so who knows what they actually translate to. But I thought this was a good one to start with. This is Bongzilla. Methods for attaining extreme altitudes.
Bring that close so we can see it. Show everybody.
It just looks like weed, and it comes in a giant plastic bag with a grinder and a bunch of incense. I saw it at a record store. I pretty much had to have it. You familiar with Bongzilla? I'm assuming.
Bongzilla, it's one of the many named Bong type of bands. So I'm
But
assuming
they're one of the best ones.
I hope they're better than the Bong Ripper.
Oh, I love Bong Ripper.
Bong Ripper.
Yeah, they're definitely more on the like Sabbath-y end of doom than Bong Ripper is.
Okay.
Probably like them a little more, but I know you hate the glass eating vocals, so that one might not be for you.
No. So tell us a little bit about it. What's the format?
It is just a 12-inch regular standard LP.
So stoner rock,
Stoner metal.
metal. What kind of vocals?
That glass eating vocal kind of thing that you hate.
My favorite.
Came on green and brown. I'm not sure what variant they called this, but looks really nice.
It's like a splatter combination. It's like kind of wavy and splattery.
Yeah, I bought it for myself as a birthday gift at Vinyl Altar. When they reopen, you should definitely hit them up. It's a great shop over in South Philly.
Awesome.
Yeah, again, saw it and I just made an impulse buy.
Any standout songs on that somebody should check out? How many albums do they have?
How many albums do they have?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say probably about 5 or 6.
You feel like this is a good album to jump into if you're going to get into their catalog?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
It's like middle of the road as far as their tenure goes, and it's not very long. It's only 4 tracks. So.
Are they long tracks?
They tend to go anywhere from 4 to 12 minutes, depending on which album it is. That's not my favorite album of theirs, but I thought the packaging was probably the most impressive.
Yeah, with a grinder.
A grinder, some incense that's probably no good anymore.
Yeah.
I think I got this like 6 years ago.
Pretty cool. Okay. Any standout tracks on that LP or no?
Yeah, I really like High Like a Dog.
High Like a Dog.
The second track out of 4. And Me Loves Pod is good too.
Is that Yoda or Cookie
I don't know.
Monster
It's just
saying
one
it?
word.
Okay.
Their whole shtick is that every single thing they do is about marijuana. Every song title, every lyric, everything.
Is that the guy that plays bass that sings? Or is that the other bong?
Yes.
That's the band with the bass player that sings?
Pretty sure, yeah. Well, there's two. There's them and Weed Eater.
Maybe Weed Eater's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. One of the
They
guys is
sound
really
like, as far as the sound goes, they sound exactly the same. Pretty
okay.
much those two bands.
And both bass players in that band, in both of those bands, are singers?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Bongzilla might be the guitarist. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think this is the guy. He's kind of lean. He's got a bunch of tattoos, and he's always flipping out. Like too much caffeine, kind of flipping out.
Oh, that's Weed Eater for sure.
Okay.
That dude was like huffing glue on stage and stuff. He was a weirdo. Weed Eater
Cool.
actually had members. I think the guy from Weed Eater was in Bongzilla for a period of time. I just don't know when.
Okay.
It would make sense.
So if you dig Huff and Glue, check them out.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of airplane glue or some model glue. They should give you a bag and some glue.
Yeah, man, make it happen. What do you got?
Yeah. I figured I'd hit you guys up with some. This is My Sleeping Karma.
Sleeping Karma. My Sleeping Karma.
Yeah, these guys are German. It's instrumental. It's like psych rock. These guys are known for kind of a blend of psych with, say, some elements of like Hinduism and Buddhism, like mantra-esque kind of a thing. Like they're really known for their live shows. It's like very immersive, their shows.
What year did this come out?
This is 08. This is a relatively new band. Yeah, you can go right on YouTube, and I was actually just watching some live video of them when I was getting ready for the show here. And man, it's a shame they really don't get to the States, you know. They're a little bit underground and therefore pretty broke. I guess coming to the States coming to the States probably expensive, right?
It's gotta be
boring. So yeah, I would check these guys out if you're into that kind of thing. Cool riffs.
Yeah, that sounds great.
A lot of echo, a lot of like reverby kind of stuff. Kind of riffs that just lay down like a sonic bed, you know. Good stuff that you don't have to. You can kind of fade in and out of this. You know, this can be on with a few people around, or this can be the kind of thing where you just kind of go within, kind of like the third eye, and really get into what they're doing. So, you know, it's good for a few different things. So I think you should check that out. My Sleeping Karma. I don't know where I have 3. I'll show a couple more on some later shows, but they were gifts given to me and they were ordered from out of the country. So the question is, can you even get them? Maybe you can. But if you can get them, you really should, because this is the kind of band that deserves to be supported. They put out such original kind of stuff and it's always good. So I recommend My Sleeping Karma.
I'm writing that down. Sounds awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Cool.
Oh my God. Another one, almost just solely for the packaging, but also it's one of my favorite collabs. I'm a sucker for a good collaboration. This is actually hard to see, but it's Boris and Sun. It's called Alter from 2006. It is, let me see, almost just solely LP. Very long form, but it just combines some of the best stuff that either band does, in my opinion, way ahead of its time. At this point, it's going on 14 years old. It's not necessarily the easiest one to listen to, but it does have some really cool features on it. You've got Dylan Carlson of Earth popping on here for a little bit. You've got
Wow.
Joe Preston of the Melvins and Thrones fame doing a weird track with like vocoder vocals. Very out there. And even the inside's actually really neat. Gives you like a little book.
Very cool.
Interesting photography.
Dylan Carlson, yeah, that's interesting. He's one of those guys that's in all kinds of shit, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, Sun actually started as a Earth tribute band. So that's kind of how they ended up even getting connected, I guess. But it was funny. I was actually going to see Sun, and Earth was supposed to open, but word has it Dylan Carlson dropped Earth off the tour because he didn't want to open for them because they started as a tribute band to his band.
Yeah.
But no, I absolutely love this album start to finish. It's heavy, it's creepy, it's a little all over the place. There's like a really chill track where Wada, my favorite guitarist, does vocals on it. The opener is just destroyingly heavy, and then there's Fried, Evil Mind, and Blood Swamp, the ones that are Dylan Carlson are on, and it's just straight drone. But definitely definitely a good one if you like anything heavy in general. There's something for everybody on this album.
Awesome. What year is that, Ian?
I want to say 2006.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any kind of weird variant there, or is it just black?
Oh, I forgot. It is green.
Okay.
Green clear.
Clear.
This was another like impulse buy. I saw it. I can't remember when. It must have been like 10 years ago. But I saw it at Creep Records over in Northern Liberties. And it was like $50, and I was like, I don't care if there's any wear on this. I'm getting it.
Yeah, it's weird to see shit like that used, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on in that person's life who decided to sell it, but they must have been going through some shit because that's not a record that people really want to get rid of.
Yeah. 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 Great. Hey. Well, I figured I'd jump into some good old fashioned psych. Seems like psych might be the ongoing theme for me. And it wasn't intentional. Most of these are recent spins. Some of them are vibe friendly, and that's why I picked them. But, it's a band called Demian. If anybody knows the late 60s band called Bubble Puppy, they did this hot song called Hot Smoke and Sassafras.
Yes.
And so these guys are from Texas. This album's from 1970, and it's essentially all the members of Bubble Puppy that started. They just renamed their band. I think it had something to do with contractual obligations or something like that. But this is heavy on dual lead guitars, and I'd say maybe more than psych. It's kind of hard rock, like Zeppelin or that kind of thing. And more so than I would call it psych. They're generally referred to as psych, and I'm not sure why for this album because it's not super psychy. I'd say straightforward rock and roll. So check out Demian if you like straight up early Texas rock, hard rock. It's good. It's good stuff. It's got a couple mellow songs, but it's got some pretty heavy, straight in your face hard rock shit. And I like the dual guitars because they're pretty much playing the same thing. So it's not quite like a Thin Lizzy type of thing.
Okay.
It just kind of fills the space out a little more. So I find that it's fun. It has it's got like a more like one or two songs are kind of little lovey-dovey kind of late 60s feel kind of stuff, but for the most part it's hard rock.
I like that kind of shit anyway, so it won't bother me.
Yeah. No, so that's the kind of thing I think Miranda, my niece, would really like.
Yeah, she said she liked, who was it? She knows Bubble Puppy.
Yeah, like I have a 45 of their hot smoking sassafras. But I don't have that full album, but that was that. It's actually it's a repress. This came out like 4 or 5 years ago where they repressed it. It's just on black.
Oh,
Yeah, so this is brand new. But the album originally came out in 1970. So good straight up hard rock. If that's your thing, man, check it out.
we'll give that a shot. I'm gonna listen to all this after we pop her off.
Yeah, actually, Dylan Carlson is that guy. He's that guy that I just kind of ran into. I think he was doing, I either saw him like in an interview on YouTube, but it was just him playing a guitar and nobody else.
Oh yeah.
And he had this long, like greasy hair, like mid-length. And I'm like, who is this fucking guy? And he started playing. And I'm like, there's got to be more to this guy. So I did hear about the Earth connection, but obviously, since you showed that Sun collaboration, I'm already assuming I could tell just by watching him initially, this guy's got his hand in all kinds of shit, and he seems to be respected, like highly respected. Like, so I'm really interested in looking deeper into what this guy actually has to offer as far as depth, because he's considered, like, from what I've seen, like he's way up there as far as musicians, like always in demand, always wanted, and always part of something new and experimental. Or from what I saw anyway.
I mean, he's had his legendary status for a while, but that's because he was around when grunge was starting up. Like the first Earth album, I think, was 1990, 91, maybe. And that's where Sun got their whole idea. And that's when like drone metal rather really started.
Interesting.
Happened with it until like over the last probably 20 years. But yeah, he's been around forever.
Awesome. Yeah, I had no idea. It's one of those guys like Rob Crow. I should have pulled some of his shit. I'll pull that for like another show. But Rob Crow is just a guy I found. He plays he writes mostly all his own shit, and he has this melancholy type of depressing pop song type of thing, but really math rock oriented. So really odd time, like all kinds of stuff, like electric guitar and acoustic guitar. But his ability to write, he's very, very good at writing this math rock, real progressive kind of odd time signature stuff. So even when you're hearing something that sounds maybe a little poppy, because the structure of the song is so odd, you actually get into it. And subject matter, I think, is really cool, but mostly dark and depressing, like dour and sullen kind of.
Like 90% of what I listen to, sure.
Yeah. And it's all like from his own experiences in life, which is why I appreciate it so much more. But I'm getting on a guy, I'm not even showing any wax, but why don't you show your next record, Ian?
All right. This one's kind of cheating because it's several records, but it's one package, so it counts. This is Alluvium, Life from Bombardment, Volume 2. I wanted Volume 1 really bad, but I did not. I was in college when it came out, and I didn't have $300 to drop. So it's probably somewhere up between $500 and $1,000, and it's just never going to happen. I can't justify it. But I did get this one by staying up until midnight when they released it. And it is a set of 9 LPs spanning, I want to say 2008 to like 2013 of any material that he had released. Because he typically, for a while, wasn't doing vinyl releases for every record. So he was just like, all right, screw it. I'll just do like 9 at a time, release it as a collection. And it's just got really neat artwork in it. This is all done by his wife. But Alluvium has been around for, as far as I know, probably about 20 years. This is in the ambient realm. So lots of orchestral stuff, composition. It's beautiful. Some of like the most relaxing stuff you'll ever hear in your entire life. I actually fall asleep to it. regularly or study or get work done, whatever. It's great background music, but it's so well written.
The artwork is great.
Isn't it? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
She sells a lot of prints and stuff too. I've been meaning to get one.
Really kind of like subjective type of artwork, you know?
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense in context of the music because again, it's ambient drone, so there's no vocals. You can hear guitar sometimes. There's piano, synth, whatever. Generally, no percussion, no lyrics, no vocals. So yeah, as a whole, it is all pretty much up to interpretation. Comes with a poster of just that.
Nice.
But the coolest part about it, and the reason I wanted to get it, is in the front, there's a library card signed by Matthew Robert Cooper himself, and then he signed my name on it as well.
Wow.
And it came like that in the package. So it was extremely personalized, had to be done by hand. This is number 87 of what I think is 300. But I'm not entirely sure. So if you're looking for some really chill shit, stuff that'll help you concentrate or fall asleep, or if you just want to hear something beautiful, check it out. Olivia and Blythe from Bombardment.
Now, do those LPs vary, even though they're the same kind of feel? Do they vary in?
Yeah, some of this stuff is just straight piano and nothing else. And then a lot of it is more synth heavy. Some of it is definitely more on like the more orchestral end. So you hear like violins and strings and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd say they vary.
Interesting. Yeah. And have you found that as you maybe spun the same album more than once, that you've gotten a different emotional reaction from it? And that maybe that artwork that accompanies it could possibly mean something else in subsequent listens?
Good. Yeah. This is the only one that I know of that has artwork like this too out of his album. So even more special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Would you say that that's accessible? That, what is it, a box set? It's kind of old school. The way they would collect 78s is in a kind of a book, more like
yeah. Accessible? I don't think, well, it's easy to listen to. A lot of people might just find it kind of boring because there's no true direction in it. Like it's ambient drone. So you're getting what you get out of it. A lot of people think it's kind of boring.
Well, it's got its place, I'm sure.
It sure does.
Yeah. You're going to put it on at a party. Maybe if you want people to leave, you'll put it on at the party, but you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe just for them to take a nap on your couch.
Or if you want somebody to take a nap on your couch, great.
Okay. Does it work on cats?
Yeah, our cat loves drone. She likes all my Sun records and all that loud doomy stuff. I don't know what the hell's wrong with her, but she's way into it.
Yeah, she's got good taste, man.
She does.
Yeah. So, in the PA, Philadelphia area, is there anything going on in any clubs or any no shows, no bars, no record stores, no nothing?
No, we were supposed to go to like 3 shows this month, a few last month. Like this was supposed to be a really good season for shows, but it's just not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are saying we're not even looking at having shows until like fall of next year.
Wow, that's a bit much.
I know.
I think next year is maybe a possibility for a lot of shit, but RSD is one, and now I hear they're going to stretch it out in 3 months, like one weekend per month, and they're going to space out Record Store Day into 3. That's what I'm reading. Is it's going to be in 3 days split into 3 months.
Huh.
I think they're trying to really milk the fuck out of it now once it gets going. People are hurt, especially record stores. They're getting beat the fuck up,
Yeah, unless you have a really good online presence, you're kind of screwed right now. I feel like a lot of them do. Like Siren has a lot of online, and Siren over in Doylestown, actually, they are doing curbside pickup sort of thing. Like I think you can call them and see if they have something.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah,
I love that.
Neat.
And I've seen record stores doing virtual, like a live tour. You know, they're thumbing through, and
to show what they have.
somebody will comment and say, I'll take that. And, you know, not like a bidding thing, but I think people are doing it that way. It makes sense, man.
Yeah, virtual record shopping.
Yeah. The problem is I think a lot of shops that maybe don't deal exclusively in higher end vinyl, maybe more dollar bin oriented, or 5 to 10 or whatever dollar type of records, you know, shit that wouldn't blow you away. I think they're going to get hurt a lot more than the people that are dealing in higher end, highly collectible, highly expensive, you know, or rare type of things that maybe the higher end, maybe bespoke type of companies have been doing for a while. So it may not affect them because they may have been doing it through the internet or through mail for a long time, as opposed to the local guy maybe make a bit if he wasn't prepared, or if he didn't have an internet type of sales situation in place and was doing okay with internet stuff. So worried about those guys, just a mom and pop dude with the really small shop that I think you could get banged really fucking hard. I don't know if any of them are going to close, but I imagine people are hurting pretty bad right now as far as that is.
Amoeba closed. I mean, that's a sad thing.
Yeah. No, before I cry, let me show another record. Here's something that we can vibe on, man.
Earthless.
Hey, this is our vibe-friendly LP. So we all know this. This is, you know, godfathers of heavy psych rock, man.
Hell yeah.
This, you know, they're formed around 04 or 05. They put no, I think actually they formed earlier. I think a few years earlier, and then this came out around 05, 4 or 5. So this is their first album. This is red. This is clear. It's like candy, kind of with little black veins in there.
Nice.
I see a couple more than veins right there. It's a little boring, but it's kind of candy. It's like they're between cherry and like a raspberry kind of color, maybe a little strawberry-ish. But yeah, these guys are long riffs, repetitive riffs, you know, alternating patterns, you know, long solos. California, I think these guys are out of California, right, Ian?
I think so.
I think it's the Cali band. So if you like that long riff-filled kind of journeys, total stoner rock, I'd call this psych stoner, right? That'd be safe to say these guys are psych / stoner. They're not just stoner. There's some psych elements in there. And
they're jammy.
Yeah, and these guys are heavily regarded as the godfathers of this whole sound. Right, whole bands that are around now have used this as their foundation for the music that they play. So there's ones that came out after this. Rhythms of a Cosmic Sky, I think, came after this. They got some live stuff, but check it out. It's good stuff. You don't have to be attached to this either. You don't have to tell people to be quiet or wait for this part to come up. I want you to hear this change. This is friendly. You can put this on in a room with a bunch of people. This might actually be like more of a stoner type of rock party, you know, a bunch of potheads. But this kind of stuff a pothead party would play, as opposed to, you know,
pretty much, yeah,
Aerosmith or whatever they're playing. But check out Earthless if you guys are into a sonic journey, man. These guys give it to you. They give it to you good.
Get ready for 20-minute long tracks.
Yeah.
And that kind of shit. Earthless is awesome, though. I found them when I was first getting into like the stoner psyche stuff, probably in like 06 or 07 when I was getting into that. And I remember the first thing I heard from them was their cover of Cherry Red.
Oh yeah, how about that?
Groundhogs. And then that got me into the Groundhogs. It just kind of went from there.
Going backwards. Yeah, man.
Got to start somewhere, right?
Uh-huh. So I was going to say standout song on that album, but I would just tell you to listen to the whole album as a whole, because that's really where it lies with that kind of stuff. So check out
it
the
all
whole.
kind of blends in.
Yeah, listen to one side if you're going to be kind of choose a track type of thing.
If you're going to be like that.
Yeah, if you're gonna be a dick about it.
I called an audible. I didn't have this one pulled out, but since you're in such a psych mood, I'll pull out one of mine. This is Ecstatic Vision.
Let's see it. Bring it in. Bring it up. Okay. I see somebody's got a horn. Some horns.
That is because it is pure Hawkwind worship.
Ah.
Yeah, very Hawkwind heavy on the influence, but wow, like we saw them live after I had already had one of their records, and I was just like, yeah, it's good psych rock, it's cool. But then we saw them live, and they blew me away. It was the most fun I've had watching a band play in a long time. The guy that does the saxophone, he also comes out and does some other weird shit. It's really fun, really special to see. I don't really know much about the members other than that guy. He used to be in a metal band called A Life Once Lost, if that rings a bell. And I was into them when I was a kid, back when I was like 14, 15 years old. And then A Life Once Lost breaks up. He starts this band, and I'm like, wow. So some musicians can really stay with you for your entire life and kind of change with your tastes. So yeah, if you want something that sounds like a modern Hawkwind, get after it. I think my favorite track on this is probably the Electric Step, track 2, but all 36 minutes of this are just excellent.
Any cool looking wax in there, or is it just straight up?
I think this one's black. We got it at the yeah, this is just black. Nothing too special on the packaging end for that.
Interesting. Hold on, let me write that one down, man.
Yeah, I have a feeling you'll like that one.
So do they have more than one album?
Yeah, they have a few now.
All right, what's the name of that album?
This one is called Raw Rock Fury. Miranda just said she hates it, and I will admit it's not my favorite album title. It's a really great album, and just look past that.
Hated it. Okay.
He's actually wearing her Ecstatic Vision shirt that she got at the show.
So cool.
But she hates them?
No, she likes them. She just thinks that it's a terrible album title.
Oh.
And I agree. I can't really disagree. It's not good, but.
Well, is it furious? Is there any fury in it?
I don't think
I mean, let's break it down.
Yes.
It doesn't sound like it'd be furious.
Raw, yes. Rock, yes. Fury, questionable. I'd say no.
That's what happens when you try to name an album on energy drinks.
That makes a lot of sense.
All right. Awesome. Well, I wrote that one down. I want to hear that. So I put that right there. Beep boop. Right there.
I figured you would.
Okay, cool. Well, there's not a ton to say about these guys, but
Living Color. Wow, I haven't thought about that in a minute.
I think this is their second. I'm pretty sure it's a second. That's my memory's telling me it's their second album. I like this album. Yeah, this is Stain, Living Color Stain. This is, in my opinion, this is a complete departure from a Cult of Personality type of stuff.
That's the only stuff I know from them.
This, you know what? I like this album so much. I may recommend this over that album because this is not as accessible as Cult of Personality. There's a song in here that got a lot of radio play. I think it's called Bye or something like that. But for the most part, this is definitely has experimental elements to it. The bass player, I think he moved from a fretted bass to a fretless bass, so the bass sound changed. The production is way more metal. It's got not like a tinny like 80s metal, but like maybe super heavy production, like more produced towards a heavy, very heavy sound.
Nice.
Yeah, some of the Standout. There's a song called Auslander on here. It's really fucking good. I'm trying to pick one or two, but there's so many good songs on here. There's like a spoken word one on here called Hemp. You might like that one. Nothingness is good. It's got like this cricket background, so you hear crickets the whole time while he's singing, kind of ominous type of stuff. And this is on like candy green.
Pretty.
Yeah, it's like you can see right through it. And this is, I'd say this is my favorite Living Color. It could be because of the time. It came out in a time of my life when I was having a lot of fun. But honestly, if I had to give a personal recommendation of what I thought their best album was, this is by far their best album. I think musically, it's the most experimental thing that they ever did. And in doing so, there's a lot of really cool stuff on there. And I mean heavy, like you could almost call some of that shit like blast beat type of drums. Like really, really heavy, like heavy, fast tempo kind of stuff. So that's highly recommended by me. And I would just say it's a well-rounded album. Living Color went for, when I look at their first one, I don't know why I can't remember the name of it. Their first album seemed to, well, first of all, it's a great album, but time-wise, it has a dated production. It's very 80s in its production, so it's really thin. It's a great album, but they were pointed in a different direction for that album. So I think what happened on this album is they decided to just try to expand and work on some of the maybe more experimental ideas that they had, maybe that they didn't use or just didn't fit. None of these songs would have fit that first album. And if you listen to them both and you compare them, you'll understand what I mean. But overall, that's a really good album. It's got a lot more heart and meaning than the one with Cult of Personality or Time's Up. Time's Up is another one, but that seems to be more kind of a bunch of songs that they just kind of threw together and made an album out of. There's no real continuity. This album's got some continuity. It's not conceptual or anything, but it's got a good flow. So check that out if you want, Ian. That might be one you like.
Yep, I'm gonna check out all these once we're done.
Miranda, I know, would love that album.
In Living Color.
Not in Living Color.
Not in Living Color. Not the sketch show. Even though every time they get brought up, I make that fucking mistake and I say Living Color, even though I know that's not what they're called.
It's a good show.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Let me see
what else you got, man? What do you got?
Let me see.
Run out already?
I called an audible on the last one, but this time I'm just trying to find something appropriate. Here's an interesting one.
Whoa, okay.
I'm just bringing up interesting stuff now. Nothing that you might not necessarily like it, but it's different. This is Author and Punisher. The album is called Beastland. This came out in 2018. Oh, I might get to that at some point. Yeah, this has become one of my favorite newer artists. Just doing some really interesting, what he's calling industrial doom metal. And that's pretty much the only way you can describe it. He doesn't use his guitars or drums or anything. He's an engineer, or a former engineer. Now he does this. And he makes all of his own noise rigs and synths, and it's all self-made instruments. I actually have a shirt with a schematic of all of his devices. And on the bottom, it says, "These machines kill fascists." This one comes on clear.
Nice, look at that.
I highly encourage you to look up like what I mean by all of his stuff being handmade, because it's truly unique, and definitely some of the heaviest stuff I've heard in a long time. We had the privilege of seeing him live. That was in 2008. That was like the end of 2018 at Philomoka before that venue got shut down. Just loud as hell. And it's just so impressive watching him be able to recreate all of this stuff using his own just weird ass little instruments. That was a good show too. That was with
I got a lot of really.
that was with The Body in Uniform doing a collab set. Two of my favorite artists. I might pull out one of their records at some point. Who knows?
They sound live. They sound like a total live experience type of thing.
Who? Author and Punisher?
Mm-hmm.
No,
No?
recorded. It's awesome.
But live.
Live, it's incredible though. Like it's just super interesting to watch. That was the first time we saw him. We saw him again at Voltage Lounge, that place we were at for Obsessed.
Yeah, the worst sound and probably in the fucking United States.
It was funny because it was so hot, and I don't think this is a good excuse, but it was so hot in there that when he was playing, he almost blew the power out for the whole building. I'm guessing it was because of his setup being a little unique, but it was also like 95 degrees outside.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He almost had to cut his set short. I was going to be pissed. It happened on the like during the first song too. It just blew, and
There's no picture of his rig in that album.
Might be.
Sure, my Instagram. Let me see if I can find it.
No, there's just a close up of part of it.
Let's see.
All right. Can you just give an overview? What's so weird about his setup? What's he have, like a bunch of amps and shit plugged in?
He has a handle on like a track that he has drum tracks set to, so it'll just like boom, and then he has like what would basically be the guitar of the band set up on like a few synthesizers, and he's able to do it all exactly at the same time, so it affects a one-man band kind of thing.
It's a video.
She wants to lean in and show it.
I don't know if you'll be able to see. I don't know if the contrast will, but that's like it's like all like this gear.
Yeah, it's all around him, huh? Oh, that's a weird, like, it's like working out at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got one of those spring things, right? To pump your.
Yeah, it's some kind of like I don't know, man. It's some kind of.
That's pretty cool. I like that kind of shit.
It's super interesting and unique. I don't know how much you'll like the way it sounds, but as long as you're okay with industrial stuff, you'll probably find a way to like it.
Good.
Appreciate it at least.
Yeah. How can you not appreciate that? Yeah.
Yeah, he actually just got done touring with opening for Tool.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he opened all their West Coast dates. So now there are videos out there of this dude doing this weird industrial shit in like stadium settings. It's so strange.
It's just him, right? Is nobody else?
It's just him. Just him.
Oh.
And you would never know if you weren't looking right at it because it sounds massive.
Yeah, that's a must. I gotta listen to that. Sounds like I need to watch video and then listen later, or maybe vice versa, actually.
Yeah.
So you can see, whoa, that's the sound he's making. That's what he's doing. It's like doing preacher curls, and you get like a bass sound.
You're appealing to my weightlifting sensibilities.
Yeah. I wonder if he does any planks. Got something hooked to his ankles, maybe. All right, so
I'm good, thank you.
here's another one we can vibe on, you and I. Anybody know these guys? Radio Moscow?
Oh, Radio Moscow, yeah.
Yeah, this album's called Brain Cycles. These guys, oddly enough, it's another kind of psych blues. Like their power trio. They kind of specialize in like 70s classic rock, like Blue Cheer or Cream or something, stonery. Fucking drummer is so fucking good, man. The dude's got his shit together. He can run a
Radio
fucking
Moscow.
Oh yeah.
run a snare roll like you wouldn't believe. The dude's quick. But I dig this kind of shit. So if you're into that whole thing, this is more of that classic. This is like classic rock. I call this like classic rock. Good, solid rock and roll. Cool vocals. These guys are from the States. I really dug it. This I think is the first album I heard was Brain Cycles. And I'd say off of this album, Just Don't Know. That's the first song. That'll give you an idea what these guys are about. They got some deeper cuts. Well, if you just want to hear how these guys can rock, that Just Don't Know is a song that I recommend off of this album. If you're into that kind of stuff. You know, the album kind of gives you an idea what they're like, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fucking brain on there, some eyeballs, like a glasses, outfitted for a third eye.
I feel like they played Philly like last year.
I don't know if they played last year, but they've been around. They've been around.
Yeah, they're still pretty active.
I can't wait till shit clears up and we can start getting back out and seeing shows again.
Hopefully someday.
This is just green. Just the green inner. I mean, it's just black.
Yeah.
But it's got a cool brain on the center label. Yeah, that's straight up good rock. I don't know. The theme just seems to be kind of psych, even if psych is just kind of peppered in, to the whole rock thing. But that's a recent spin of mine, and that's one that I really like. That's got a lot of high energy in it too, and I think you'd like it just because of that. It's just good, solid rock, and they're not an ancient band. I mean, they're very active. So younger dudes.
Yeah, that album was only in what, 2008, 2009, something like that.
Good question. I don't know. 2009.
Thought so.
2009 for all you fucking old people. I want to say every number separately. 2009.
Oh, and I forgot, a standout track on this album for when you do check it out would either be Pharmacide or Nile Strength. They're the first two tracks. They're the best ones. But outstanding album all the way through.
Pharmacide, huh? That sounds like a hopeful song, huh?
Oh yeah, just full of sunshine and rainbows, this album.
Song of hope for the future.
Oh yeah.
I like his get up. It seems really it's very current what that guy's wearing. Matter of fact, when I go shopping tomorrow to ShopRite, I'll be wearing something just like that.
Hopefully. And Pixar didn't happen.
At least. I'll be the guy in the spacesuit.
Should I let your niece talk about a record?
She want to come on? Yeah.
All right. Well, you can give me time to.
She's gonna pick one then.
Yeah, pick one. That'll give you time to. Yeah,
I'll show you our current setup. We had to ditch the old 4 square thing, and now we have 9.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much all filled up and running out of space again.
Okay, don't show your bedroom too much. You're live on fucking YouTube.
There's nothing in there.
You got a bunch of dead parrots in a cage back there?
Probably.
Creepy old lady vibes.
Bunch of
Lady vibes.
like 20 parakeets dying back here of thirst.
Why would it be that?
It just looks like a cage. That's just look like a cage.
Well, we do have the bearded dragon and the frog, so definitely no dead birds.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. It's not too late.
It's only a matter of time till they get corona. I heard cats got it, so some cats were getting it.
I heard a dog did. I don't know about cats yet, but
yeah, I heard cats. There's a couple cats that got it, but they're okay. They're okay. They killed their masters, but they're all right still.
This cat doesn't go outside, so she's gonna be fine.
Yeah, that's something to not socializing and being a hermit that really fucking pays off right now,
You've been training for this.
Antisocial. This is nothing new to me.
Pick one.
I have 2, but I'm deciding on which one I want to go with.
She's debating which one.
Show both.
Show both.
Okay. Hold on. I was gonna also.
And then you can just take the seat for a bit, and I'm gonna go make some food.
No, I don't want to be on.
No, you'll be on for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, she can show a couple.
I got 2. All right. What's going on, internet?
This is my niece. This is Miranda.
Hey, everyone.
Beautiful niece.
So
She also collects vinyl, but she doesn't make videos because she's too hip and young to do that kind of shit.
it's not true. I've told Ian we should do something in collaboration, but here's my cool Static Vision shirt.
Oh, cool. I like it.
I've told him we should do collabs, but we'll get there at some point.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that. But all right, so the first thing that I grabbed, just based off of one of my favorite bands, really strange garage rock band from originally, I believe, Rhode Island, excuse me, but now in San Francisco, LA. I'm sure some of you have heard of the OCs before. Really cool, really crazy psyche music. Other than maybe John Dwyer and a drummer, they've definitely incorporated a lot of new artists to kind of join in with them.
You love that album. You've been showing me Strawberry Teeth, I call it, for years.
Yeah, or I remember you said it was like you said something about like gritty or crispy or something like that.
Yeah, I don't like the seeds.
Yeah, seeds in your teeth, and you're like, that's
Strawberry Teeth, yeah. So yeah, all right, cool.
So yeah, this album's like really rad. If you're looking for some like crazy psyche tunes, John Dwyer is the lead guitarist in the OCs. He's been first started off as like a folky group, and then it kind of grew into like this like deconstructed lo-fi garagey psych nonsense. He's very much a guitar wizard. I don't really know how to describe his style. You kind of have to listen to like maybe one of their tracks. I feel like this is the most accessible of like the 12 maybe that they have. I believe it came out in 2009 on Castle Face Records, which is his own record label. John Dwyer also does like really cool artwork. So if you guys want to check out his art, he does really cool like screen printing. I'm just going to turn to a random page, I guess. Yeah, so if you want to check out some like weird sides of John Dwyer and other than his music, you know, you've got that odd artwork and like really interesting, you know, like he was just like, you know, kicking rocks in the sides of San Francisco trying to make money and, you know, set up shows, and he just had butcher paper and kind of some spray paint and stencils and, you know, kind of went from there. But
how would you describe that music for someone that doesn't know it?
I would definitely say the early material is going to be more folky and deconstructed and more calm. They had female vocalists, I think, up until maybe 2012. I might be mistaken on that, but that was really nice to kind of give it like a lighter note. So the early material is going to kind of sound more like that. And towards like, I would say from like 2015 on, it got a little more, had more like instruments, a lot of more like sound machines, drum machines, and like weird sounds he was sampling. And so I would definitely say it got psyche, and now it's a little darker and heavier. So their newer materials definitely got a, I don't even know how to describe it.
It's got some krautrock vibes to it.
Yeah, I would say it's really cool. It's really interesting. The whole, you know, discography from them. But he does date back to early days when he did Coach Whips, which was with a few other artists. I believe it was Petey Dammit on bass and like a drummer. But they would just like wreak havoc in record stores in Rhode Island. Like they would play like shows in record stores and just climb all over like the CDs that were on display, and like everybody would be all mad, and he'd be like, fuck you, and just like, you know, coming out, man. And I gotta say, I have a lot of respect for John Dwyer. He's really cool. He's very intriguing. I think he's been on a lot of like, what is that playlist on for Amoeba when they do like the artist feature the artists and like what they picked out of
What's in my bag? Yeah.
Okay, well, what's in my bag? Yeah. So I've seen him on there a few times too.
Yeah, I've got a lot of really good recommendations from watching those videos.
Yeah, are you done?
So what would you, is that a good album, would you say, for somebody that doesn't know that band to listen to first?
Absolutely. It's got a lot of their, like, I would say their most fun songs, their most interesting. There's some like really like more quiet songs and like some like really fast, loud and amp songs. So if you want something that's gonna like give you energy, make you feel like super amped for the day, I would say that's a really good one to go with. Like just as much if you were going with like some punk rock or something like that, that's definitely gonna have like that upbeat vibe and kind of get you going. The other
what would you recommend? Is there a standout track on there?
Yeah, and I don't even know. I forgot to show you like the most. Oh, Ian's computer's dying. We're gonna transport.
My battery's dying, so we're transporting. Hang on.
Oh no.
There you go. Deaf Heaven banner in the background.
Where are we now? In the lounge?
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Oh, perfect.
Great.
Great.
Oh.
Yeah, you look perfect. Yeah, fine.
All right, that's good.
You're not washed out or anything by the sun.
Okay, Ian's computer's angry. And I think it's
No, it's
slow now.
fine. You're good.
Are we lagging?
Yes.
How do we not lag?
I think you're fine.
Okay. Well, hopefully that straightens itself out. But so this is Floating Coffin. This is really weird, like kaleidoscope, coyote teeth and strawberries and eyes. My favorite thing about it was the color variation of this. Strawberries.
Can you move out of that sun at all?
Yeah. I got you squeezed over here. That's that enough?
Yeah, as long as you don't sit back. There you go. Move.
All right.
Yeah.
So this color variation is, I believe, strawberries and cream. So it just kind of looks like exactly that.
Oh yeah, look at that. The one side's got way more white.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until I flipped it over one day, and I was like, that's pretty neat.
Isn't that interesting with some of those?
Mm-hmm.
How they're different on both
Video
sides.
and how they just kind of like sometimes for like if it was like a splatter, like a rainbow, it looks like sprinkles. It looks like a forbidden donut.
Yeah.
Like dip it and then they put it under this thing and it smashes it. It's really
Yeah, I saw that video too recently where if for just a second I'm like, that's the biggest donut I've ever seen. And then they put it in
You're
the
like, what are
press.
they doing with that donut? Oh,
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's a record.
weird band member artwork. They have like night vision, creepy eyes. The other record that I grabbed on a whim is right over yonder. It is the Meat Bodies. So Meat Bodies are another weird band that I feel like only maybe, you know, me likes. Weird, like
Only me likes.
me only like it.
Me loves pot.
Me loves pot. So the Meat Bodies have this weird like glam sound to them, and I gotta say that I definitely
Why'd you write all over it and ruin it like that?
I actually met them and had them.
Just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. I got bored and doodled some shit. I mean, Jerry lives on it because you know.
Jerry who?
Jerry
Lewis?
lives.
Jerry Lewis?
Jerry lives.
Yeah, where?
I don't know. He wrote that. Chad wrote that from the Meat Bodies. So it used to be Chad and the Meat Bodies, and then he just kind of started doing his own thing. You know how like those really, I don't know, pretentious LA psych bands want to be, but you know I love them. They're really rad.
That's Psych.
That's like it's gonna be more like a glammy psych. Apparently, this is supposed to be an album that tells a story. I haven't figured it out yet. What the hell the story is? It's called. Can't even see that.
Wow, look at that.
Nice little gatefold.
It looks like some. Is that really thick? It looks really thick.
It is really thick.
Yeah.
Dirty. It's like in really good condition.
Was that a double?
What's that?
Is that a double LP?
It is. Oh no, I lied. It's not.
Why would you lie?
I'm sorry. The internet's gonna.
I like you now.
All right. So I don't know if you can see.
Yeah. Is that like
But it's got,
candy?
like- yeah, it kind of has like this light white and maybe a few dark spots on it. There you go.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Looks really pretty when it's spinning. Probably one of my favorite albums to like stare at and you know you're feeling real nice. And
Glammy Psych.
Glammy Psych, and then there's a track on here where it's at called Count Your Fears, and it's super like crispy, you know, lots of distortion and whatnot. I mean, and then it gets all glammy again. But I gotta say that track gives me like the goosebumps. If you guys want some goosebumps. Really cool album. They played in Underground Arts, I believe it was like, let's see, when did this come out? This was released. Ooh, mixed by Chad Ubovich. I actually have a tattoo from meeting Chad on my arm because I'm weird.
Shad.
Chud. He told me he goes by Chud. No,
Chud.
Chud. Anyway, this is probably 2016 or something like that. I got that. They played Underground Arts. It was one of the smaller rooms in Philly. I would definitely say that I was the only one there. It's really jamming out, but I was like,
you're the only one there.
yeah, man. I was like one of like 5 there. I felt so fucking bad. I felt
And it
so
was
bad.
Underground Arts. That's a great sound in there, man.
Yeah, it was their smaller room. So the one they used mostly for the
I've never been in there.
for the lounge. Oh, I remember before it was like this really nice place, and they had, like now they have all the swag lights and stuff. But it used to be this place that had like coolers for kegs, and they'd be like, "All right, if you shotgun a beer, you get one free." And I was like, "What place is this?" Interesting time, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can pull out of here. I just noticed Ian's over here.
Well, how about I show one while you go pick one?
Word, sounds good. Oh,
One you guys might know. I think Miranda knows this.
Wretch, yeah, I know Wretch. Wow, I am
Wretch. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, this is Wretch.
gonna.
The band Wretch, the album Wretch.
Wretch.
Wretch. So this is, I would call this doom metal.
Okay.
And this guy is actually, the guy that formed this band is actually from another band called the Gates of Slumber. And they're kind of like this, but not even as doomy as this. So I don't know if you've heard of Gates of Slumber.
I have.
Okay.
Didn't somebody from Gates of Slumber just die?
Yeah. Yes. Or one of the Wretch guys. Yeah, somebody. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah. Not sure exactly where the link is, but yeah. So this is like deep doom. It's got like, it's real heavy riff, heavy groove, like emotional riffs. Like if you want a doom to like invoke an emotion in you, like almost like a good rock song would do, where you're more like banging your foot to the tempo because it's so doomy, but the riffs are so chunky that, you know, it's actually part of like the tempo that drives you along to want to bang your head. And, you know, really cool, some, you know, doomy, heavy, some repetition on some of the riffs, you know. It's probably my favorite doom album of all time. This is probably number one on my list as far as doom. Heavy.
Really?
Yeah, I love the singer. He's got this kind of aloof feel. He's real sullen, and you know, the subject matter is about mortality and stuff. And I even think one of the songs had to do with one of his friends dying. Maybe before this album or right after it came out. So I think there's a song in there for his friend. So it's real doomy, but it's kind of, I don't want to say hooky because it's the wrong word, but if you ever thought doom could have a feel, like a metronomic kind of feel that would make you want to bang around, this is actually the thing. This will take care of you, man. And
I'm downloading it on Spotify right now. What year did that come out? Do you know?
This, I don't have my old man glasses. It's not that old. I want to say, I don't want to say anything because I'm not sure. It's not old. 20 something, 14 or something maybe, or 15. I'm not exactly sure. It's not super old, but Running Out of Days. That's the first song on the album. Resting, that song's called Rest in Peace. Winter is a cool like acoustic. I think that's actually a Judas Priest cover. It's just guitar. Icebound. And this font it's the perfect unseeable font, red on black, so that's why I'm struggling. But they're that's another US band. I think they're out of Midwest maybe or something.
I was judging by the album cover. I thought this was definitely from the 90s at the oldest, but I guess this came out in 2016.
Right, it's okay. Right, I was thinking 14 or something. Yeah, it's not that old.
Huh.
Yeah, Gates of Slumber kind of folded. I'm not sure why, or maybe I didn't. I don't remember, but they folded up, and he actually. So when I listened to Gates of Slumber and I listened to Wretch, it's obvious this is way heavier and way fucking doomier than the Gates of Slumber. When you listen to it in comparison, Gates of Slumber almost has a poppy feel. It's like if you get like doom pop or something, you know. But that's in comparison to like Wretch. It's some of the most honest, just gut wrenching. I mean, the fucking riffs are amazing, and that's on like a bone white I didn't show it. It's like on a bone white vinyl.
Yeah, metal's just such a saturated genre anymore that I've seen that name and I've seen that album cover before, but just never bothered checking it out. But now I have to.
Yeah, it's, I'm surprised we haven't talked about it before. I'm such a fan of that album. And it's the only one they've got. I think they've got an EP, and then they did maybe release like one song after that. But
I think they're still active too, like still touring and playing.
I don't think they're doing anything now, but they're writing right now. Is what I last heard. They're writing new stuff, and they may have, if I remember right, they may have leaked a song or part of a song on their Facebook page. I think they did like a little video where they were jamming at practice or something like that. So they're active. Who knows how much this is going to stall them now if they were, getting ready to tour. But I think they probably want to put out an album first and then tour. But generally, yeah, they're active. They're active, and they were not active for a while. I think they were down for a few years. He wanted to get back.
One album out 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's worth it. You're the Doom guy. I don't know why I didn't turn you on to that in the earlier days.
I know, right?
Us hanging, but there
Speaking
you go.
of Doom, I just got really excited because it says Author and Punisher was live on Instagram right now. So I put it on, and it's just him like kneading dough and like making pizza or something.
Surprised it ain't banana bread.
I thought he was going to be doing a live set or something because we've actually seen like.
Well, there's a switch up. You never would have expected somebody to be making bread.
No, he's that's his new that's his new medium, I guess. I guess he's going away from the industrial machine stuff and he's going to start working with dough.
Dough is his new medium.
The new medium.
Emotional dough. It's the most sullen dough I've ever eaten.
We've seen like a handful of good bands do some live streams though. It's actually been kind of fun. Like we can watch them from our couch.
So cool. There's a Facebook page, a group that's just about people posting what live shit's coming up.
Oh really?
Yeah, Clutch was doing it.
For a list.
Clutch did some impromptus. They did like 3 10 or 12 minute sessions. The first one I saw of any significance audio and video quality wise was Cadaver. They did like a whole set list, like over an hour long, like in their studio.
When was that?
It was a few weeks ago, maybe. It was like one of the first heavy quarantine type of situations. And they just popped up on I think my Facebook feed. Yeah. And I watched them on there, and their setup it wasn't like live air. It was all ran through a board. They got some type of switching, like highly professionally done. So it's up there to still watch.
Yeah, the first one we saw was actually the OCs. They did a recorded rehearsal of an album that they just finished writing. So just played it straight through. And it sounded awesome. You can actually check that out. It's still up on YouTube.
Yeah, cool. There's a lot of that going on now. It's really cool.
And
a lot of bands that aren't playing are showing their older shows.
Yeah, like Pink Floyd had the live at Pompeii up for a little bit.
Yep, and then there was, I think, Pulse.
Yeah, Pulse is still up, I think. I couldn't.
And one before that, I think. Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, and you're also seeing, I'm also seeing bands that, what I'm seeing mostly is most bands that have YouTube channels haven't posted for like 8 or 10 years, and now all of a sudden, there's a Kaja Gugu fucking, live event going on.
Exactly.
Or what did I hear? Squeeze or somebody? I was like, Squeeze, or I think it might have been them. And I'm like, I wonder if they're active. And it's like 10 years ago was their last fucking video. And I'm like, I'm not subbing to you. It's like this whole new sub my fucking channel thing, and we haven't done shit for a decade. Sorry, you're not getting my sub.
No, absolutely not. You got to be picky with your subs.
Hey, I'm not just clicking anybody. You got to earn my click, man.
Last night we ended up watching 2 live streams at like the same time because there were 2 happening, and I wanted to see them both. There was a Panopticon. He's like a folk black metal artist, I guess. lots of like Americana stuff involved, but he just did like an acoustic set last night, which was really neat, along with another artist, Ariel Ruin. And then at the same time, there's this one weird like noise rap artist, I guess you could call him, called Moody Black. And he just got a bunch of weirdo artists together to do like separate live streams. So one that I really like, this guy Mannequin Eater, who's from, I think he lives about 20 minutes away from us. He ended up going on there, and he's just this dude that puts on like a weird leather kink mask and just makes dope industrial beats and like yells hip hop over it. It's fucking good. It was so interesting to see like on your couch.
Yeah, another good one was, and honestly, I don't know anything about this dude. As a matter of fact, I heard his name mentioned a bunch of times, like maybe over a few years or whatever, and I thought, sounds like a basketball player. Post Malone.
Oh God, no.
All right, now all right, relax for a second, okay?
No, I'm listening.
No, I'm talking to Miranda, not you.
Okay.
You can hear her gassing in the background. I don't know anything about this guy, and I refuse to like him because his name, he just sounds like a basketball player. Like, I got a problem with people that are changing their names to sound like other names, like Josh Ritter. I think of John Ritter from that TV show. And I go, I wonder if he just changed his name just so he sounded like some dead other dude that had a famous name. Josh Ritter, John Ritter. So I didn't like this guy. And then I didn't watch all of it, but he did that Nirvana set. And I thought it was fucking great, man.
That's what I've heard. I actually haven't delved into it.
Well, it's by far the best representation of anybody trying to do Kurt that I've heard. I mean,
really?
we've all heard the Puddle of Mud song, right?
Oh God!
Did you hear the slow down one where they just slow down the part where he yells?
No, but I need to.
Dude, it's fucking hilarious. And his face like changed, like it's blowing up when he's trying to get the words out.
The pictures of that like are just unbelievable.
Yeah, there's another one where they like mesh it in with like the unplugged, and Kurt's like shooting. Kurt's shooting him all these dead stare looks while he's fucking up all the pitches in the lyrics. Anyway, that Post Malone dude, I didn't watch it all, but I watched like probably 5 or 6 songs, and some of the songs I just didn't want to hear him do, like About a Girl and stuff like that. So I forwarded it. But I thought for the most part, he sounded really good, man. I don't know what he does. And I'm okay with not knowing anything that this guy does, because I probably wouldn't like it anyway. But
you would hate it.
The fact that this guy's got such a love for Nirvana that he wants to do a whole set, I thought that was cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really into his normal music. It's not my cup of tea.
I don't know it. I don't know anything. I haven't heard a single thing. Nothing.
It's not your thing at all. Again,
I just figured if I don't know him by now, I don't need to know who he is. But I thought that session was cool, man. I thought it was cool.
I'll give that a listen then. I have a lot of time.
Yeah, and it was like a fundraiser, and I think they made like $1 million or something, or tons of money. Like for some.
I'm sure he's well respected.
Yeah, I don't know what he's respected for. He don't look like the kind of guy I would like, but.
No, he looks like he smells really bad.
Yeah, and he's always burping up bad, cheap beer and, putting cigarettes out on the carpet. That kind of guy. But anyway, a little bit of respect, just because anybody that takes the time to learn 8 or 10 Nirvana songs and play them, pretty much.
Play them well, from what I heard. I'm surprised.
Well, yeah, good. That's a good word. Well, he did a good job, a really good job. Kurt had a distinct voice, and it was real screamy. So you can either be a screamer and try to scream it, or you can be a really good singer and try to sing it the way that Kurt sang it. He just sounded like a screamer, but he hardly changed expression when he was screaming, which means he was fucking singing essentially. So, if you got to fight hard to get the noises out, then
I know what screaming looks like.
I know screaming.
Do you think the guy from Puddle of Mud knows he looks like that when he sings?
I think he does now. Every time I open fucking YouTube, it's in my feed and I can't not play it. That one where they slow down, every time he screams, they slow it and stretch it out. And they like put some weird effect on his face where his head like blows up like Dig Dug.
I'm putting that on as soon as we're done. Number one priority.
Yeah, watch it, please.
No.
I watched it like 10 fucking times. I'm like, why does this keep showing up in my YouTube feed every single time? It's like, now I gotta watch it. So what, we got anything else? Are you done?
Yeah, Rand picked one out.
I just feel like it's just so good for the soul.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we bought this and it's unopened. And we've had it for a while.
Yeah,
I think we got this at the show.
Yep.
We saw this band last year. They're called Idols from the UK. This album is called Joy as an Act of Resistance. And it's just good like garage punk. It's good UK garage punk. Lots of good messages in their songs. Very positive.
They're very today.
Very today.
For our society.
Okay, let me cross that off real quick. I'm just kidding.
But they... About what? How about you talk about it?
No.
Why? You picked it.
I gotta hear somebody.
He doesn't know how to talk about it. It's fine.
I don't know how, so she's going
No!
to.
Use your words, Ian. Use your words.
It's okay, pick something else.
I'm picking something else.
You have so much more
This is why I don't let you pick things for me.
Bye. Yeah, I have a lot of like the full discography from artists and less like variety like Ian has. So, you know.
All right.
There you go. That's a good one.
Okay.
Boris, but I'm going with another Boris because you can never have too much Boris in your life. This album is called Pink. It is from 2007, and it is kind of where they took off and actually started getting popular. Boris is a three-piece from Japan, comprised of Atsuo, Takeshi, and Wata. Just drums, bass, and guitar. Although the bass player has a double neck, one neck is a bass, the other is an actual guitar, so he can jump back and forth. I know, and it's fun to watch live, but they're such a prolific band that it doesn't fit into all of the songs, but anyway. Comes on a nice pink splatter. I think I got this one. This is a reissue where they actually had all of the sessions and B-sides pressed onto records too. So this goes to side F.
Really?
Yeah, and oddly enough, it's one of the only records I can say the B-sides are as good, and some of them are even better than some of the tracks that actually made it. I don't know what decision they made in regard to that, but every single track is incredible. It just spans too many genres to even really get into. There's some like 70s sounding stoner metal, stoner rock in there. There's shoegaze, there's garagey punk, there's like sludge metal. There's just, again, another album where there's something for everyone on it. They have a very simple style as far as their stuff goes, nothing too crazy art-wise. But this is looked at as their best album. I don't know if I could agree with that entirely, but I can see why anybody would say it. It's definitely their most accessible by far. Definitely the easiest to listen to, because they have other albums that some of them are literally, an hour and a half long of just like gong swells and loud bass and noise. Just challenging shit to listen to. But this one actually has like a lot of fun tracks on it. It starts the first track right off the bat. And actually, I have to check what the first track is because the American version is different from the vinyl release. Yeah, so on the old one, they actually have, or the version that I first heard when it came out had the last track first, and it makes no sense. It's called Farewell. It's pretty and like a perfect closing song for an album. And for whatever reason, they made it the first track on the American release. But this one starts off with the title track, Pink, and it just kind of shoots off from there. That's like probably one of the closer to like, I don't even know what I would call it. It's got like almost a punk feel to it, but it's way more complicated than that genre could really lend it to. Standout track. It's hard to pick because they're all wildly different. Farewell is probably my favorite one. It's the first track I ever liked by Boris. That's definitely on like the shoegazy My Bloody Valentine sort of area. And then after that, I would probably say Just Abandoned Myself, which is like a 12-minute long jammy punk kind of track that extends a little further than it should, but I have no problem with it. But anyway, it's a 10 out of 10 album. Everybody should listen to it at least once.
Yeah, I recognize that not because of the music, but because of the album, the cover.
Really?
Very die cut, and the color.
Very thick.
Yeah. It's really, it's like a weird layout for this one. I got this one when I saw them do Pink at Union Transfer. It was for must have been the 10th anniversary or something. It was 2017. Yeah, that would make sense. It was like the 10th anniversary edition, and they played the album start to finish, nothing else. No complaints about that show. And I'm pretty sure Earth opened.
Wow. Cool.
Just for more connections in the conversation we've been having.
Yeah. It's like 6 degrees to Dylan Carlson, right?
I think it's more like 3 at this point. Good band.
Well, here, I'll bring it back down.
Close us out with some Obsessed.
Yeah. You know these guys? Scott Weinrich, man. Wino.
We met Wino at one time.
We met Wino. We saw Obsessed the first time I met you.
Yep. I got that. Still got those pictures, man. It was a good night.
I've still got those up.
Got drunk on those monkey beers and I had a headache for like 3 fucking days.
Oh, yeah, Golden Monkey.
Yeah, great. Golden headache.
Belgian beers.
Go away. Anyway, this is the Obsessed. This is a new one. This just came out a few years ago. Sacred. It's got some recycled songs, but it also has some new songs. But the recycled ones were essentially redone because he didn't like the original mixing. He wanted to do more, maybe something he didn't have a chance to do originally. And that is Sod and Jackal is one of those. Maybe on The Church Within. Maybe it's on anyway, he redid it on this album. And there's a lot of new stuff on here too. It's got Brian Constantino on drums. And whatever bass player is playing bass at the time, I guess. He goes through a lot of bass players. So this is Sabbathy, stonery, little doomy, deserty. He was part of the original desert scene. I talk about this guy a lot. He was in with the original Desert Heads. People that know him know he has that tie to the desert rock scene. He just went out and did his own thing. And he's picked up the kind of Sabbath mantle and carried that torch along until everybody picked it up and realized it was fucking awesome and started playing it again. So I attribute most of the ability to have that stuff accessible for bands more closer to now, to recent, because of him, because of what he did. You could say what he did was derivative, but he always had an original edge to what he did. And I like all his shit. He doesn't have a single stinker, I don't think. It isn't a single album that Scott Wino has put out. I'm not a big fan of acoustic stuff, but a lot of his a band accompanied stuff, he's done acoustic, but he's also done, I think even recently, there's like a brand new album out that's acoustic. Not a super fan of acoustic stuff just in general, so that's not to take away from his awesomeness. But when I talk about things that are just inherently awesome with him, it's just more rocky type of stuff.
I even like the solo material that wasn't acoustic. What was that one album? It came out in like 07, 08 maybe?
Yeah, that was the acoustic one, right?
No, there was one that he did on his own, just under the Wino name.
Adrift, I think it might have been called.
Let me find out. Hang on, because I remember liking that album a lot when it came out. And
Wasn't Adrift? Was it Hidden Hand?
no,
Just
it
the
was
Wino? Just
it
Wino?
was just Wino. Yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna find that. It's gonna bother the shit out of me. Wino.
Let me pull that Rob Crow real quick and I'll show you since we were talking about that earlier.
I found it. I found that album called. It's called Punctuated Equilibrium.
Oh yeah, okay. That's just Wino?
That's just Wino.
I mean, it says Wino?
Yeah,
That's weird.
it was his first solo album.
Hmm.
According to
I know the album. I didn't know it just said Wino. I thought not Spirit Caravan or anything like that.
Nope, it's just him.
Interesting.
I'm guessing the Obsessed is your favorite of the Wino projects.
Shrine Builder's like a super close second, but that's more like a super group than anything, you know?
That's not even fair because they're never going to release another album.
People want so bad for them that to at least fucking tour. God, I'd love to see them on tour.
Yeah, I would have loved to see that.
Yeah. Cool. Punctuated Equilibrium. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I got you. So we were talking about Rob Crow earlier and like that same type of Dylan Carlson degrees to or from.
Yeah.
How many pots this guy's got his hands in. Some of that melancholy, depressing pop stuff I was telling you about. With the odd timed stuff. Like sullen math rock, like poppy. He calls them depressing pop hits.
I can get into that.
What he got on the back. 13 depressing pop hits. Yeah. And that's some of his world famous art.
That was right up my alley.
Goes a lot with the fucking music. This is probably my favorite Rob Crow. He thinks he's people. Man, this will put you in a mood. The music is so good that you almost forget how depressing the fucking lyrical content is. And he pumps a lot of lyrics. You know, some of those guys that you'll hear a song and there'll be a sheet of fucking lyrics, 12 paragraphs long. He's kind of known for pumping a ton of lyrics into a song. I like him because of that. He did another, so he's been in a ton of other shit. None of, something called Pinback. You ever heard of a band called Pinback?
Yeah, actually.
That's one of his bands, Pinback. That I'd say that's a little more.
Weren't they like kind of like an indie rock band, basically?
Yeah, it has its depressing qualities, but not quite like this, because this is pretty much all Rob Crow and what's coming out of his head. So here's another one of Rob Crow's. It's called Living Well. Gotta love his shirt.
What does that say?
It's got a pentagram. What's it say?
I see the pentagram. I just can't see the words.
Be careful what you wish. Something else. Wait. Do what thou wilt. And then something else, but my old eyes aren't zooming in on the bottom. But that's pretty much this guy. You know, he spent a lot of time drinking and almost drank himself to fucking death. And a lot of that stuff in his frame of mind at the time is where a lot of this lyrical content came from. And this is cool. Orange splatter with black and gray.
Good looking.
Some pale green in there, splattered. This is that depressing pop type of stuff. But again, his the way he writes the music, he's such a good musician. Like he almost has, I don't know if it's a fact, but he has like a real learned quality to his writing. Like I think this guy can write music. And he does, and for those two albums that I just showed, he did either all of them or most of the instruments, and like all in his bedroom. Yeah, and so the standout song on this album, and by the way, this is the album I recommend you listen to first for Rob Crow. He thinks he's people, and the one I really like on this is called, where is it? So Way. So Way. SOWAY. It's a really cool fucking song. And that'll give you an idea.
Seth Putnam in a Hot Topic. The track after So Way is called Locking Seth Putnam in a Hot Topic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess you'd have to be that guy to know what that actually meant.
I think he's talking about the guy from Anal Cunt.
Really?
That's what that guy's name is.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I'm not a big Anal Cunt fan.
I'm not either. He was a terrible person, but
I'm into one of those. I'll let you choose which one. Like one more than another. Yeah, Sofa Structure. That's the first one. Scalped. This Thread. Yes, and it's got a lot of lyrics. That album has a ton of lyrics, and if you can pull up some of the lyrics while you're listening to it sometime, you'll see how many lyrics this dude actually crams into a relatively short song, or like a standard length song. And
I'll give that a listen tomorrow.
Yeah, do it, man. You may like it. And this is the latest Rob Crow. It's called You're Doomed. Be Nice. And this has a whole band. This is him with a whole band. And this is more of that super progressive mathy stuff. It is. It's like math rock, dude.
Huh.
It has that same feel. It has its depressing qualities. This is a little more accessible, happy-wise. I say this has the most happy, right? Because there's other people in the band that wanted to do something a little less depressing. So maybe he let some other band members put some songs of theirs on that album. That's what made it not so want to kill yourself-ish. So, yeah, that's it.
Stuff, man.
Yeah. So I want to thank you, Ian, and my niece Miranda for coming on and hanging out.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Really good, man.
So I'll say my goodbyes, and then I'll shut off the YouTube feed, and we can talk for a couple more minutes before I
Sounds good.
But I want to thank everybody on YouTube that's watching on my channel Bizzarro. You can check out this episode 3. You can also check out prior episodes 2 and 1. That Mikey Bananas from Grown Man Record Night. And the first one we've got Craig, Zappa 218-648-52, whatever his number handle is. Also got some really good band interviews from King Buffalo and Pooh Bah and Bang. And as I said last week, I'm going to try to make this a Sunday thing. So unless the world ends between now and next Sunday, I'll see you guys next Sunday to Bizzarro's Lair, chill session number 4. And we'll see who exactly that's going to be, because I don't fucking know yet. Tells you how in order I got my shit.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, Ian and Miranda, thanks for coming on the show again and chilling with me. I hope maybe you guys can come on in the future. Maybe we'll listen to some of these that we wrote down for each other, and we can come back and do a follow-up later on and
that'd be
show
awesome.
some more and talk about what it is that we've absorbed from our recommendations.
That's fine. Homework.
I like that.
All right. So on behalf of me and my awesome channel, I'll see all you guys next time. Let me see if I can shut this off. Hey, shut it off.
Only had it for so long.
Probably gonna be like, yo, you can't shut it off.
Just recording permanently
Like
now.
the Truman Show.
Yeah, it's still on. Is it on or is it off? Such a subtle ending to an awesome show. Fade out. All right, hold on. Can I end it here? Okay, I got it. All right, this is the first time I've done this. Last time I fucked up. You know what I did last time? I said goodbye, everybody, and I shut off my Zoom stream, and the YouTube kept fucking recording for like an hour and a half, and I didn't know. So I just learned you're supposed to shut off YouTube first. So now that I know where the tab is, thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you'll come on the show soon and talk again. I hope everybody that's watching live enjoyed it. And I hope people that'll be watching this in the future, I hope you can take some of these recommendations away. And I hope you learned something, because I sure did. So until I see you next time, take care from the Lair. Take care, everybody.